Guys, welcome back to the channel, and this evening we are going to be working on the Pro Xp's secondary clutch. So the last video I updated you guys and said that I thought that the fuel pump might have been the issue, and I spoke with one of our local power sports stores with one of their mechanics, and we got to discussing what it was doing, and he was like, "What year's your RZR?" I said, "It's 2022. He said, "Does it happen to be an Ultimate?" And I said, "Yes, it does." And he said, "Well, we had this issue a couple weeks ago that we've repaired." He said that Polaris from the factory had put too light of a secondary clutch spring in that one. And he said the symptoms and everything is identical to what they had just repaired. So I took and had them order me in the correct spring. I have not taken the clutch cover off yet to see if it has the wrong one in it, but here it is. And he said that it's supposed to be 160, 260, which there's some numbers right there. And what that is the 160 stands for it's 160 pounds of pressure during idle. The 260 is 260 pounds of pressure at full throttle. So we are going to take this clutch cover off. I'm going to check the spring and see what's in it, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the new one in it anyways. If I've got it, might as well. But I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. I don't have my tripod. I left it in my truck. I'm pulling transmission tomorrow in my truck, putting a new transmission pump and stuff in it, so I forgot the tripod. So I'm going to try to do this the best I can without it, and take you guys along, kind of show you the steps and what I figure out. I mean, you know, I've never taken apart the secondary on this, so you're going to figure it out with me. So anyways, guys, appreciate you watching, and I will check in with you guys whenever I make a little bit of progress on this. All right, guys, so I got the clutch cover off and got the secondary clutch separation tool. And you stick that right there and screw that in. That will separate the secondary clutch so that you can remove your belt. Then I'm going to get a socket, remove this, and I will show you guys that process when I get there. But just wanted to update it to you guys. That's the new belt I put on, and we'll be in this and look at what kind of springs in here shortly. So we got the belt off. I'm going to show you a little quick way of taking this off. I just take it, well, I'm going the wrong way. Just take it like this and spin it. Da 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 da. Boom. That fast. So I'm going to get a socket, get that bolt pulled, and be right back. All right, guys, so you want to get 10 millimeter. I don't know if this is going to have the strength to get this off of here, but we're going to try it. Well, that's a revolting development. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to have to use two hands here. All right, so I had to get more ugga-duggas. The little Ingersoll Rand didn't have enough, but that's a 10 millimeter bolt. Something you guys are going to watch out for. Right here, there is some spacers, and you're going to want to take and make sure that you get those. Do not lose them, and make sure you count. It's a lot harder when you're trying to video. Make sure you count how many of these you have, because this is for your belt alignment, and you want to make sure that you put it back the way it is when you pull it apart. That way your belt is squared up with your primary. So make sure you don't lose those. Make sure you get them all. And I believe that is all of them right there. So I'm going to pull this off. I've never pulled one of these off, so I'm going to turn the camera off, use both hands, because I don't know what to expect. But I will show you guys what I find on the other side. All right, guys, so got it off. I ended up having to use my clutch separation tool to get the first portion to push off, because you can see there's a little bit of rust in there. It's been damp a time or two. But I'm going to find a Sharpie. They say you want to take and mark your clutches to make sure that you line them back up. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but I'm going to do it because, you know, why not? It's not that hard of a step. So I'm going to find a Sharpie or a way to mark this, and I'll be right back. Well, of all things I couldn't find was a Sharpie, so I just got some electrical tape right over here. and marked it so I know orientation. So let's go ahead and pull this off. There we go. You got your rollers in there. That thing is dusty. You need to clean that out. I'm gonna not put that on the clutch side. And so now let's see if we can figure out what spring is inside here. He said I should be able to see a number on the spring, which I'm not seeing. So I'm going to have to dig a little further into this, guys, and I'll let you know what I find. Okay, so I had to run to the local town to a buddy's house and get a clutch press. And so we are going to start disassembling this. I had to rig this up because the piece that he had is for like a 2017 general clutch, and so it didn't work with this particular setup. So I just took a big washer, a large nut, and then 2 smaller washers there, and made my own. So I'm going to take these bolts out and loosen this up and then show it to you. Okay, guys, so we got it off, and 160, 260 it looks like, which is what the new one there is. But I mean, if this is the original helix spring, which I'm sure it probably is, I mean, the thing's got almost 5,000 miles on it. It may be just getting worn out. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one in. Squeezing it, it feels like the new one's definitely got more tension, and it's taller. It's definitely taller. So I'm gonna say that the helix spring was probably just getting weak, because right there you can see that it's pretty well flush, and we're losing solid 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put this new one in and put it back together. I'll run it down the road. I'm going to take a video probably of me driving, but with the S&B particle separator and these Pro XPs are pretty loud in the cabin area. I imagine you probably won't be able to hear anything, so I might have to do either a voiceover or I'll put subtitles in it so that you guys know what's going on. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to put this back together, and we'll see what goes on from there. Just a little bit of advice. So when you're putting this on, these helixes have like a tapered cone to the back side of them. And so it's going to center up your back section of the secondary clutch. Make sure that you hand tighten these, because you're going to have to move the clutch around to get it to square up, and then just start tightening it down with your fingers. And try to get them down as much as you can, because you don't want to cross thread these. If you start cross threading them, that's not going to be good. So anyways, just a little tip for you guys. Make sure you watch out for that. And so I'm going to get these tightened down, torqued down to spec, and then we'll probably get that put back in the RZR. So anyways, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I want to be real as possible with you guys on this video. So these little marks right here. Apparently when I had this in my truck, when I went to go get the clutch tool, there was a piece of metal in my seat, and before you could feel the imperfections in the aluminum. So what I done was I took we have a buffing wheel and compound and stuff, so I put some buffing compound on here and buffed all that out to where that it's perfectly smooth. There is no imperfections. I can't feel it with my fingernail or anything like that. So anyways, I just want to tell you guys, make sure you don't do that, because that could cause problems. If you don't smooth it out, you could have premature belt wear, stuff like that. So make sure you guys keep stuff away from your clutches, unlike me. And but you know, they say that trial and error is the best teacher. So anyways, we're going to get this put back together. I'm going to clean up the other side. It's pretty filthy, and then we'll get this put back on the RZR. But anyways, do not do that. That is not a good idea. So we got it back on. If you see that the tape's pretty well aligned, got that torqued back down, and so now we can move these out of the way. Gonna put the clutch separation tool back in here, get this separated, put the belt on. Something you guys want to remember when you're taking your belt off, make sure that you remember what way it went on, because there's a certain way that these belts break in. You want to put them back on the way that they've been running so that you don't cause them to wear prematurely. So anyways, I just took mine straight off, laid it in the bed exactly like it would be in the clutch box here. And so I'm going to get this put back on, get the cover back on, and then I'm going to take it for a ride and we'll see if it changed anything. I don't know. It's kind of odd what it's doing, and I'll explain that later. And kind of let you guys know exactly what the symptoms of it was. And we'll talk about whether or not this cured it. Just a couple more things, guys. When I put my belts on, I put it with the Polaris in like this, so that I know exactly how it comes off. So I put the wording out, like if you were going to read it, and then stick the belt on. That's the orientation I do, so I know how to put it back on correctly. Something I noticed right off the bat when I was compressing the clutch, that spring is substantially heavier than the old one. So I think we're going to have a little bit of gained response out of this one. I think that other one was just getting worn out. And I was looking, and they say to replace those about every 1,200 miles. So we were about 3.5 times over the limit on what you're supposed to have on those springs. Well, yeah, it was still running, so. But when I put my belt on, I take and stick it in the primary, and then I take and roll it around the secondary. When you put it on, make sure that when you release your clutch tool, that you spin your secondary clutch like 6 or 7 times in full rotation. That way you can reset that clutch back down into the helix the way that it's supposed to. Otherwise, it's going to be setting out and it's going to cause problems. So anyways, just a couple more tips for you that I thought about. And so I'm going to get this belt put on, get the cover put back on, and we're going to take her for a ride. Just to show you guys what I was talking about. So this belt is setting on the cover. This one's touching the cover here. This is loose. So you want to start spinning it. I don't know if it really matters what direction, but you see how that tightened up right here? Now there's room where I can put my fingers there. There's room down here. And just give it a couple good spins, guys. That way you can seat that belt in there properly. And the spring and everything compresses the way it's supposed to. So when you start your rig up, you don't got a lot of weird noises. You don't hurt your belt. You don't hurt your clutches, because that can get expensive really fast. So anyways, something I just wanted to show you guys. That way you knew what I was talking about. Okay guys, so we got it put back together. I got it warming up. I try not to just jump in my RZR and take off without letting some coolant circulate, let the turbo coolant circulate. So I'm gonna give it a couple minutes here, and then I will jump in. We'll take it out on the road and see what she does. Okay, guys, so it definitely, throttle response is a lot better. I think me buffing out that clutch has kind of got a little bit slick, but the throttle response is a ton better. The performance is ton better. Definitely not slipping like it was. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and tune in for the next episode. Please like, subscribe, guys, share it with your friends, and we'll continue to try to bring you some content, guys, that you like. If you have suggestions, please leave it in the comments down below, and we'll try to make you some videos. So guys, have a good evening, and God bless.